The reason it took so long between each of our albums is quite simple, really. It's because we started in a very different environment. Bulgaria, it wasn't like the States or the UK, where someone picks you up when you're a young band and they work the hell out of you, and they just keep you pushing to record and record and record, and everything's organised. We had to figure it out ourselves. So when we started out, we were just kids, and we were like influenced by, at the time, which you've seen, by sort of the LA hair, glam or whatever sleaze rock scene. But prior to that, each of us had grown up on very different music. I mean, I grew up in London listening to Adam and the Ants, Madness, Bauhaus. All the others were listening to different things too. But at the point in time that we actually decided to form a band, we were into, you know, making our faces up and, you know, listening to Faster Pussycat and bands like that. So the first year we just went out and played, and we had this manager that got us to record in a couple of really big studios, which was really exciting for us. But by the time the first album came around, we were sort of a different band, because two of the people had left and we've replaced them with two others. So our first album was really we didn't have a producer to guide us there, you know. When we started out, we couldn't even play properly, you know. I couldn't sing, no one could play, but we were having fun just kicking up a racket. So the new album is finally ready, and it's called You're Not Wearing Your Tie. Now, some people may have already guessed where the title comes from, but for those who haven't, it's actually from one of our favourite Alfred Hitchcock films called Frenzy, because we're quite enamoured with all the imagery of the 60s and early 70s, the colours, the music, the way people dressed, the way there was nothing out of place on screen in every single shot. I'm talking especially colour-wise. And at the end of this film, which is about a guy in Covent Garden, London, who strangles girls with his necktie, he gets caught and there's a dead girl on his bed, and he comes in all huffing and puffing with a big trunk in which he obviously plans to put the said very attractive girl, actually. And the coppers are in there, the old Bill, the police, and they just stand there and they don't say you're arrested or anything, they just say, Mr. Rusk, you're not wearing your tie. So that's where the title of the album comes from. And we're going to release it on CD, obviously, which obviously someone's going to copy and put all over the net, and everyone's going to steal it, which is fine. But we intend to sell it at our gigs, and we're quite good live. So people, once they see us, that's not showing off, it's fact. So people, once they see us, usually are a bit mesmerised, so they do tend to buy CDs, judging on past experience anyway. And that's the main thing, and that's the main way of selling CDs for most bands around the world anyway, at gigs, because you've just seen the band, and if you like them, you want to grab something to remind you of that gig. We're going to do vinyls as well, because vinyl's really important, and we can place some vinyls in some of the cool shops in London and around Europe. So this is what we plan to do, plus a couple more videos, and obviously promote the album anywhere around Europe, especially, that we can, and I'm sure we will. Okay, yeah, so you've noticed that in one of those songs called Liquid Tears, off the old albums, I've used the line, the right people never get together. That was at the time in a more relationship, love, romantic context, because obviously I must have been disappointed by certain mishap or great romance gone wrong, as happens to nearly all of us, at least the ones that actually have something in here, that they feel it, you know. For the cold-hearted bastards, well, obviously not. But yeah, and as you point out, me and Evo did get together, but ours is not a romantic relationship. We're just friends and make music. So, and most of the time it's been fine. But we've had many times where we've disagreed. Not only with ourselves and other people in the band. The band is like life. You know, you disagree with your work colleagues, with people in your school. You know, you've got plenty of people that can't understand you, and because they can't understand you, especially at school, they usually take the mickey out of you. They don't even bother trying to understand you. So these things happen all through life, let me tell you. So get yourselves braced for it and get yourself ready to just stick by your beliefs and not give a damn what anyone else thinks. So we've had a lot of turbulence ourselves as well, and often arguing brings about great results and great creativeness. It's like having a massive row with your girlfriend, and then the sex afterwards is usually fantastic, isn't it? So yeah, but we've sort of got to a place where we know ourselves, and each of us knows what the other can do, and how far to go so as not to offend the other person, how far to go so as to challenge the other person, which is important, because you've got to keep yourself challenged all the time, not think that you've done it and done this and done that, you know, and never be content. So yeah, that's about it really. Right, so obviously when we went to London, where I've sort of grown up before that, so we went there with another band. The thing is, it was me and the guitar player from Babyface Clan, but the band we had was called Imbeciles and the Poison Umbrella, and we were playing a very different type of music. It was electro punk hop or something like that, I don't know. But in any case, it was very different from what we used to do with Babyface Clan, and I can't really compare the scene in England at all with the one in Bulgaria in the 90s, because I can't even explain it to you guys, because Bulgaria in the 90s and Eastern Europe in the 90s was like the Wild West, probably what Chicago was in the 30s or late 20s. It was like mafia madness and fat-neck brutes walking around with guns, and we've had plenty of guns swung at us at gigs just because we've been, you know, we looked a bit different. And so London, we went there to sign to an indie label, and it was my hero from Adam and Yance, the guitar player. So for me, it was like one of my dreams realised. But and we did quite well on the club scene, and we actually played in our favourite club, Madame Jojo's in Soho. We were sort of like the house band there, and that was another one of the things I always wanted to do. It's very different because once you find your scene, because London's a place of many scenes, you know, you've got the pub bands, which we weren't associated with. We were a notch up above that stuff, you know. We weren't playing pubs, we were playing good clubs, and occasionally some great support slots like with Placebo and stuff like that, because they liked us and invited us. But once you find your scene, there's a drum and bass scene, there was like a hip hop scene, dubstep scene, anything. But once we got into our scene, which was sort of a bit cabaret electro, people there, you don't get any, they just watch and respect you. And in England they're a bit, you know, they don't get too excited, they don't rip their shirts off or flash their tits that often, but if they like you, they like you. And the thing is, they don't really give you crap for the way you look. So talking about that song Positive, that particular line, the choices that we have are many, our life is in our hands, isn't really optimistic. It's actually, those words to that particular song are taking the mickey, as they say in England, or probably taking the piss, as you guys say in the US. So it's exactly about that thing that you know, people come on the telly or whatever in the press, and they try to brainwash you into everything's going to be fine, and you've got so many choices, and you young, especially true for young people, look at your life is ahead of you, so you've got so many choices. And quite often, as soon as they're saying that, then they're doing something behind the scenes that to make sure that you don't have that many choices. and it's actually always been our sort of duty to, as people, you know, when we were young, when you guys are young anyway, even now we carry on doing it, to make sure that we do find those. You have to carve out those choices for yourself. No one's giving them to you on a plate, even though they say they do. So for a video, for me, the most important thing is not the budget, and that's been proved many times. It's personality and vibe. That's the thing. The personality of the people in the video and the vibe. And if that vibe gels with the song and they're entwined in a perfect orgasmic cosmos, then it's great. You know, that's what it is. It can cost £2 really. It can cost 5 pence. It doesn't matter. So that's our philosophy anyway.